It's funny that as I'm recording this episode today, literally over the past couple of days, I've been fascinated with a timeless and essential jazz standard by Mr. John Coltrane called Giant Steps. Of course, I cannot, and very few can play it as the master did it originally. But kind of funny, is kind of a sidebar here. I happen to be listening also on my playlist on my phone. Came across a rendition from another fantastic musician, Mr. Alex Bugnon, keyboardist, piano player. He did a rendition of Giant Steps almost like at 1/5 of the pace or the tempo of the original. It is so incredible to me, and not to the point of crying, but was that pure how he played it, and just the intonation of the same feel that Mr. Coltrane did originally, but Mr. Bugnon slowed it down to where you guys could take it in, absorb it, embrace it. A giant step, but slowly. What kind of led me to this topic today, calling it slow giant steps. Yeah, another musical reference to me and also to what drives me towards resilience. Also, as I use that term for this episode, another inference, another baby step, a giant slow step forward on your journey. But first, I want to go back to a deep measure of respect to Mr. Coltrane and that tune, that timeless tune, Giant Steps. For me, as a very young and a very old trumpeter, the pace and structure of that tune usually scares the hell out of me. You gotta listen to it, it'll blow your mind from note one to the note at the end of this song. He just flies through it. And to some musicians out there in the world, that tune, Giant Steps by Mr. Coltrane, serves as a rite of passage for any true jazz musician. I can't claim that yet. I'm in the back of the class, but I need to take that test as well on Giant Steps, especially from the major master giant of jazz, Mr. Coltrane. Now, I don't intend to focus this discussion on my currency with music or with my trumpet, but allow me to make the connection from my heart and to yours. Also, as researching how to every day do my best in playing music, I came across a gentleman, his name is Mr. Dave Pollock, a tremendous instructor on YouTube for understanding and interpreting musical theories and approaches and tunes that do scare me even to this day. Remember, I'm just an old young student on music and the trumpet. I'm in the back row of the music class, still sitting there. Anyway, Mr. Pollock, he kind of simplified the analysis and ways to improve over this classic rite of passage tune called Giant Steps. So even though Mr. Coltrane has been the noted, celebrated as bringing and presenting sheets of sound to us mortals, Mr. Pollock provided an easier way for me to even consider playing that song. Not just in my room, playing that song in public. But again, let's move forward into resilience. Just by stumbling onto this episode about Giant Steps, it turns out as a slow giant step for me towards the courage to play it. Just like for my breathing. I know that sounds a bit ridiculous. Everybody breathes, man, right? Yes, true, but I don't actively breathe. your God, my God, higher power, universal conscious mind, the friendly universe breathes me and you. We are breathed by the universe, by our higher power. But even since my stroke, the stroke I encountered and experienced many, many years ago, I still have an impatience to breathe or to allow myself to be breathed properly, and still remains a slow process for me. I'm still working on how to get out of my own way and allow the power and force before me and within me to breathe me. So, here's the slow, giant step I just, quote unquote, made or resolved to add to my discipline and framework. I have to observe this carefully and directly. Are you ready for this revelation? Breathe in through my nose, mouth closed. Exhale through my mouth, even and steady. Impressed, aren't you? As simple and not even at the elementary level of duh. I know it may sound like a very silly thing to focus on, but it, I believe, can serve as a key to a lock that I have applied to everything that I do or don't do. And it definitely applies to the air that I can supply to my horn, my trumpet, in practice and on the bandstand. In this journey towards resilient breath, I thought that I had to take in this huge breath to then speak through the trumpet. Not even close. Having to unlearn my bad breathing habits, taking in shallow and thin breath through my mouth and then back out through my mouth, the result was obvious and badly audible. Lack of air, lack of depth, lack of range, lack of crystal clear tone and sound. As they say, garbage in, garbage out. And in my essential case, thinking I could control my breathing in the first place, I made garbage out of the breathing process both ways. So you can imagine the less than best quality sound that I have produced to this day. But taking one slow and giant step, actively and with awareness, close my lips, breathe in what seems like a tiny intake of air through my nose, another miracle happened for me. A stronger, clearer note of sound came out of that trumpet. Not sheets of sound like Master Coltrane, but man, it was an impressive and deep impression on me about the process of breathing. This one little yet giant baby step forward, remembering that I must die, but also, and in the meantime, let the breathing happen. And with that slight adjustment, to put less garbage back into the air. This may be old news for you, but thank you for allowing me to share the joy. I'm moving forward in the musical class from the back row to the next to back row. Breathe away, my friends. Stay present. Stay current. No matter where you are in this world, remember, it is always 8:20.